Welcome to Candid Conversations. Let's chat. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 241 of Candid Conversations. We are here with cinematographer Jelan Maxwell. How's it going today, sir?
Good, man. Good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm good. I love the product placement.
You know, just gotta let them know, right?
I'm telling you, I subconsciously saw it earlier, but then as I'm looking at it now, I'm like, yeah, that's a key move. You gotta let them know what you're doing, you know. So, wow, cinematography. Give me a brief history from your perspective
Of cinematography in general?
Of cinematography in general.
I mean, yeah, it's actually kind of funny, I guess. Like this month, particularly, like cinematography actually starts from a long time ago when they first wanted to get images of horse. There was this kind of bet that these guys at this horse race track were betting on whether a horse's feet, all 4 feet, leave the ground at any point in time when it's running, so during a race, all 4 feet are in the air. So to do that, they created this rig of cameras where they captured however many photos in a second, to be able to see if at any point of the horses running, to be able to see at any point if the horse's feet are all in the air. So basically they would play these photos back to back to back to back to back. And that's actually sort of the birthplace of cinema. So, and the reason I say it's funny because one of the earliest sort of cinematic images, like moving pictures, is of a black man on a horse. So it's ingrained in cinema, this image of this black man on a horse. And then cinema was created sort of in a sense. I mean, cinema comes from Latin thing as well, but yeah, it's that's one of the earliest things in cinema is the pictures to see the horse's feet, and then a black man on a horse is one of the earliest cinematic moving pictures. Super interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
That is news to me. I wasn't sure of the exact origin kind of thing, so to hear that story, it's a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously goes way beyond that. It comes from. Anyways, I can't go into the whole deep dive.
Obviously not. No, we only have about 45 minutes here, so. So yeah, but that's an interesting story. So what was your first experience with cinema that made you want to be a cinematographer?
Yeah, so it's actually I came from music. Actually, I used to be. I mean, I've done a bunch of stuff, but I was in IT for a long time. Then I got into music. I was always making beats and stuff with my friends, and recording people rap and stuff like that. And then I got into music, and I was an audio engineer for a long time, working at studios in Ottawa. And then through working on people's records, I would mix and master for these artists and stuff, and record their stuff. And then one day one of them was hey, you should come to my music video shoot. And I was oh yeah, sure, I'll just pull up. And then I just went to the music video shoot, and I saw how they were kind of doing stuff. And I was and at that time, I had a camera for some reason. I can't remember why exactly I had a camera, but I had a camera. I mean, I used to do when I was growing up, I was skateboarding. So I was filming my friends skateboarding or whatever. I think it was my mom's camera. And then, yeah, so I went to this music video shoot, and I saw them doing their thing. And I was oh, yeah, this is kind of sick. And then I was just I was working with these artists and stuff already. I was yeah, could I just shoot your music video for you as well? You know what I mean? Or do photography or whatever. And then, yeah, and then I just kind of started shooting little music videos, basically, and just for the artists that I was working with. And then, yeah, and then from there, I was just working on, those music videos weren't the best or whatever, but I was learning. And then eventually, like I met like a group of people, like through shooting music videos. I met like my kind of main collaborator right now. I met him at his studio that he owned. I was shooting a music video there, and then from there, I did my first short film with him, and that was, that's when it started getting like cinematic in the sense like I was actually shooting like movies at that point, like shooting short films with him, and then now most recently, well, not most recently, but I ended up shooting his first feature film, which is It Comes in Waves. So that's been, which is doing pretty well. So yeah, so it's just from being in music to shooting music videos, then transitioning into kind of film, like narrative film, and yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So there was a gradual evolution of sorts.
Yeah, it was gradual. I mean, yeah, that's actually, yeah, it was definitely gradual. Like, there was a point in time when I was trying to do both things, and then I was like, you can only do so many things at once. So then eventually, like, I did have to cut off music. Like music was definitely like my first, passion. But then eventually, I was kind of like, you can only be great at so many things at one time, and you can only put your time into however many things you put your time into. So splitting it up was just difficult, and I just wanted to put 100% into something. So then I just I got out of music completely and just did only film essentially. Yeah, but it was probably a 2-3 year transition. Maybe, yeah, probably 2 year transition. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm just looking at just the different avenues there are. There's so many different avenues. It's hard sometimes to stay in one lane.
Yeah.
And you made an excellent choice. You know what I mean? Like deciding what you want to do with your career and focusing on that. There's a lot of people who are still, backwards trying to figure out what they want to do. So to have that kind of focus is remarkable, incredible.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and it's hard, I think, for a lot of people. Like for a long time, yeah, even like at one point, like my Instagram handle was called was Jelan of all trades, which was funny because like I used to do everything. Like I used to be like like I was a programmer. I did music. I was an audio engineer. Like I made beats and stuff and myself, and I was in IT. I did cybersecurity. That was like I had like a full-time day job. Great company that I worked for. I did I just did all these different things. I was like super into fitness and stuff as well. So I was Jelan of all trades. Like I was just doing whatever. But then eventually, you know what I mean? Like I always say, like, yeah, like you have 100% of your time. And then if you divide that 6 ways, like, well, you know what I'm saying? And then you minus the time that you need for, the house, the bills and the whatever. Is you got to make money, and you gotta take your dog to the groomer and stuff like that. You minus that time out of it, it's like all those individual things, like you start to really bring down the amount of time you have for those things. So, and yeah, like I wanted to do something great, so I wanted to be great at something, and so I figured, just lock in. I think was it Alex Hermosi? I don't know if you listen to Alex Hermosi, but he's always talking about like, yeah, you don't just do a whole bunch of stuff at once. You do one thing, great, then you move on to another thing, great, and then you move on to another thing, great. So we'll see if I move on. But, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be right back. This show is brought to you in part by Exposed to North. We go there and beyond. We're here with Jelan Maxwell. We'll be right back. All right. Sir, if you were to see yourself 10 years ago, what would be the first thing you said?
Yeah, I don't know. 10 years ago, honestly, like it's hard to say because like I think there's lots of things that like 5 years ago that I would have said to myself 10 years ago, like things like, just lock in and focus on this one thing, or like I think the only but like me kind of being a little bit scattered when I was younger, like and trying all these different things, it's kind of like, okay, like I tried that, like it didn't really work out or whatever in those fields, and it is what it is. Like, it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily really change anything. I would say the only thing I do wish I did, I wish I learned the piano. I wish I learned the piano, because I think when I was doing music, there was a certain amount of like, there's there's a certain amount of fundamental knowledge that, and when I say I wish I learned the piano, actually, this actually kind of imparts in a bunch of different ways. Like, there's a certain amount of fundamental knowledge for anything that you do that can easily be ignored. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can start making music without knowing like all these different things, or you could like start shooting movies without like kind of knowing these fundamental basics, or you could like start doing programming without knowing these like fundamental basics. And you can do certain things, and you can get stuff done, but then like when problems arise, or where you're trying to do something in a different way, you don't have that fundamental knowledge to sort of pivot, because you only know things from YouTube and stuff like that. So I wish I kind of locked in music a little bit more, or in all of these different things, and just sort of like learn those fundamentals before like just doing certain things like on my own, and sort of like just not caring about those things. That'd be the only thing. Just locking it. But at the same time, man, like, when you're like when you're 20, like, it is what it is. You're gonna just do whatever you want, basically. It's ridiculous.
100%. To be the best, you must first know the basics is one of the things that I like to say every now and again. But no, you're right. At that point, like I'm thinking back to when I was about 20. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been doing this for so long. And there's a lot, like even in my 30s, where I was just like, I'm gonna do this because I want the experience. And then I look back at it, and it's like I probably shouldn't have done that. But in learning the fundamentals, I mean, like, that's important. You're very right. It's important to know the basis of what you're doing. And I find this, and I'm going to refer to them as this YouTube generation, because back when I started doing research, we had encyclopedias and stuff. So you only had factual information that was founded by people or fact finders.
Yeah.
Right. You couldn't, like, I mean, you and I couldn't just make an encyclopedia and sell it to people, right? But now with Wikipedia, anybody can alter that.
Yeah.
So the credibility of the information isn't as trustable.
Yeah.
I find so.
Yeah. And not to say like, sorry, and actually I would reiterate that, not reiterate, but I did learn everything I know basically on YouTube in terms of like cinema. Like, I didn't go to school for film, and like which I also, it was very messy. But I do think that is, so what I was saying is like, yeah, like I would tell myself to lock in and learn those fundamental things. But at the same time, what I'm saying is that like, I don't really regret not doing those things, because not like having that, because it was like, I learned that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. It sort of is what it is. Like, so like, I that's why I'm saying like, I can't really say like, I would tell myself that, because like, it is what it is. It's why I'm here today, basically. So,
and in asking that question, that's why I was asking it for more like reflective purposes, because even in myself, I'm like, well, if I had changed my attitude towards certain things, for example, would I be in the position that I'm in right now? Because
exactly.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I might tell myself not to swear so much, but. But like, I don't know. I think I had to stick to my guns on this one. Like, when I was 12, I told my teacher I was going to own my own business. I never said I was going to be rich. I never said I was going to be famous, but I did say I was going to own my own business. And I'd like to take a moment to promote, Expose the North, as well as Culture Shock. We are the product, both of which are a collective part of the Village Global Network, who reaches listeners in over 193 countries by way of the application and the website. Check out villageglobalnetwork.com and contact us to help you build your business, because at the Village Global Network, we make the network. All right. I have to do that because it's necessary.
Yeah.
But on that note, is there any particular influence you would say you have when it comes to creating work?
Yeah, I mean, like it kind of depends. Like, so it's like, yeah, like if I'm working as a cinematographer, like a lot of the work is influenced by other work. It's like I think what is it like great artists, like great artists steal or whatever is a quote or whatever. I can't remember. But yeah, like it's like anytime that I work on a project, like I'm always referencing other things because like that's where I'm like pulling things. Like yeah, there's like some element of like my own original ideas and stuff, but at the end of the day, like it's like so for what I do as a cinematographer, like I work with directors on creating their films and like bringing their visions to life. So it's not always like my particular vision for a project. Like
Okay.
I'm imparting my own input into it, but I'm also trying to just basically like okay, like you have an idea for a movie, I'm talking to you about the movie and I'm understanding like okay, like what do you want to see here? Like what are these characters doing? How are these characters feeling? What's the vibe of the world that they're in? And I'm like okay, like oh yeah, so it's kind of like it's kind of like this movie. Oh, it's kind of like maybe that photographer's work. Oh, okay, it's kind of like okay, we're looking at it through this lens. We're kind of seeing these kind of colors. It's maybe it's colder, maybe it's warmer. Oh, like so it's like it's constantly like I'm referencing and I'm drawing inspiration from like I mean other movies that I love is this kind of the big thing and
Sure.
directors cinematographers that I love like maybe with the way the camera moves so it's like I'm always pulling inspiration for anything that I work on and
Okay.
yeah and then even like if I'm working on like my own stuff like I shoot my own documentaries as well it's like I'm always pulling inspiration from other documentaries that I might have seen, or like, I might see a photo, and then just be like, oh, like that's a story there. Like just what's in that photo is like, okay, like there's a story behind that. And okay, maybe I want to do a documentary about that, you know? Yeah. So always pulling inspiration.
Huh. And ma- this is a very enlightening conversation because, like, I am at that point that you were at so long ago where I'm making videos right now and I want to do more than that. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm creating enough or telling enough of a story in 3 minutes.
Sure.
So I'm branching out into this idea that I have. If you have, oh no, you have a hard out, but another time we could even talk about it because I'm looking to gain more insight from people who are actually doing it before I step into the ring, so to speak. I want to
Yeah.
learn the ropes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we
whenever,
will.
yeah. By all means, reach out. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. We will get right back to this shortly after this break. All right. So now, okay, now when you look at it, um, what are three key elements of any cinematog cinem jeez.
Cinematographer? Like,
No, not cinematographers. Production. I'm gonna say production and stop stuttering over this word.
like a, like
So what
a production?
cinematic production? Yes, yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's funny, like because like always you associate cinematography with like lighting and cameras and things like that, which are true. Like by all means, like cameras and lighting are super important in cinematography. But honestly, like I always say this to directors and with anybody who I work with, and people learning cinematography. The most important thing in cinematography, number one, is production design, and production design it involves a lot of things. Like it's like what you're looking at essentially. So it's like you can have the fanciest camera, you can have the fanciest lights in the world, whatever, but like if what you're looking at is ugly, that's it. So it's like it's really hard, and this is the expensive part too. So production design comes down to, I mean, the people, even your actors. Technically, I consider that part of production design. So like the people that you're looking at, like there's a reason that everyone in Hollywood is gorgeous, right? Like you can just point a camera at Jessica Chastain, and it's like it's cinematic. You know what I mean? That's just how that
Yeah.
point camera at Viola Davis. It's cinematic. That's just how it works, right? So it's like number one, like your cast has to look correct for what you're shooting. Number two, everything around your cast has to look correct for what you're shooting. So that's your set, your design, your location has to be cinematic. You know what I mean? Like if you're like shooting in like in your mom's basement, like very unlikely that it is cinematic. Unfortunately, that is just the reality of it. And then so like yeah, like the location, the wardrobe that the cast is wearing, the just the design of everything, and then lastly, like understanding the tools that you have. So it's like, you know, using the cameras and using your lighting in a way that is cinematic and not in a way that like not fighting your scene, like not like being like, okay, I want to use this camera, I want to use this lights, but like no, like okay, like what does this story actually need? So it's like, does this story need this camera, this specific camera, and this lights and moving the camera around like this and that? Like sometimes no, sometimes like the most cinematic things are just like a camera on a tripod with no lights, and it's just like a beautiful sunset or whatever it may be, or just a person walking. I don't know, like it can be a lot simpler sometimes than like we might make it. Like it needs to be all this Hollywood stuff, but like some of the most cinematic images, some of my favorite image I've ever shot is a person standing beside a lamp, and it's just like one little light bulb, and it just looks, that's kind of weird for me to say, but it's like it looks gorgeous, and it's like it didn't require like $10,000 of lights on set or stuff like that, because the actor was right, the location was right, and I didn't fight either of those things. So I don't know if that makes sense for three.
That does. It really does, because I wasn't exactly sure where to start with the build of the idea of the vision. You know what I mean? It's like I have a vision, but it's like a handful of Super Bowls, like the Super Bowls bouncing around the room. Like, you know what I mean? I could do this, I could do that. It could look like this. But now with that foundation, it's more like it's more like I'm in a batting cage.
Yeah. I think I would always say like people like people. So it's like at the end of the day, like if your cast is right, okay, actually first, I guess the first most important thing realistically is the script. The script is by far the most important thing. And then those other things that I mentioned. But yeah, like people like people. If you get your cast right and you're pointing the camera at the right person, like you're doing pretty good already, to be completely honest with you. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I've selected a few people that I see resonate well with the crowds and things like that. You know, they have a good following, so I'm gonna keep working with them towards building this whole idea and making it happen.
Right.
Oh man. All right. So, what genre of movie would you be interested in making that no one would ever think would catch your attention?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like I like all the genres, to be honest with you. I haven't really worked in that many, to be honest. Like I've mostly only done drama, and I've done a little bit of comedy. But yeah, like I really would like to work in I would like to try all the genres. I mean, I haven't done horror even. So that's definitely what I want to do. And action, but I think a big one that I would really, really like to do is spy thriller. Like I love movies like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, or the Jason, like the Bourne stuff.
That was done very well.
Yes.
I actually just pulled out the DVD the other day, the trilogy. I have to find the fourth one.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen I've only seen two. I think Bourne Identity and Bourne Ultimatum. The first and second one. But yeah,
Identity, Supremacy, Ultimatum, then just Bourne.
Supremacy, yeah. So yeah, I still have to finish it, but yeah, just like I only just got into kind of that genre recently, and I'm like, man, like I would love to shoot something like that. Just the energy and like the super long focal lengths. But at the same time, like I would also love to shoot something like I'm a big Terrence Malick fan, so would love to shoot something very, very wide. I don't know if you know Terrence Malick, like Tree of Life, or Hidden Life, or any of those. But yeah, I'm a big Terrence Malick fan, so would love to shoot something. So these types of movies are in like the polar opposite style kind of types, polar opposite genres. So yeah, but I'm open to anything, to be honest with you. But yeah, I would love something spy thriller or Terrence Malick-esque.
Right on. Okay. Um, you could pick any director, alive or dead, to work with. Who is it?
Um, Man, it's tough. I think like alive, like I would love to. It's like it's ridiculous to even say it. But like I would love to work with Denis Villeneuve. I think Denis Villeneuve is probably uh he's definitely top five for sure.
Sure.
Or like yeah, like Blade Runner 2049, Sicario. Like Sicario is like I reference Sicario a lot. Or Ridley Scott is another big favorite of mine. Gladiator and the original Blade Runner and stuff. Yeah, it's tough to say. I guess Denis Villeneuve also just can. Another director also not a bit lesser known, I guess. Um, the director of oh man, I can't even remember Jean-Marc Vallée. Sorry, Jean-Marc Vallée, who
Okay.
directed the Dallas Buyers Club. I'm a big fan. I mean, rest in peace. Someone that's not with us anymore, but incredible director. And yeah, taken way too soon. That would definitely be some everything he does. I just love the way he works. So yeah, would love to work with him.
No doubt. No doubt. We're getting close to another commercial break. This is where I let you know that you can catch the replay of this show next week on Culture Shock Radio. That's located on zeno.fm/CULCHASHOCKRADIO. Culture Shock Radio. You're in the mix. Come get your fix. We're here with Jelan Maxwell, cinematographer extraordinaire. It is Candid Conversations, episode 241, and we are also monitored by Online Radio Box. All right, so this is my favorite segment, hands down. This is where we flip the script. Now, when I flip the script, I give the guest the opportunity to be the host and make whatever statements they may have or ask any questions they may have thought of. So, Jelan, you have the floor as we flip the script.
Sure. I mean, I don't really have many statements to make, but yeah, like, what's your? I'm curious, like, where are you at right now? Like, you were saying that you were sort of like thinking of a project and stuff. You're sort of like, maybe doing a lot of different things. Like, where are you at right now? Like, what's next up on your plate?
Oh man, if I were to describe it as a visual, I'm juggling flaming chainsaws while balancing on a cannonball over a shark pit. That's but I'm doing podcasts. I do 3 weekly. Me and the Boys Wrestling on Mondays at 7 with James Owen Brown on youtube.com/@POEZ. I'm doing Candid Conversations where I get to know the artist behind the art, and then I do the Terrell Effect where I get to show the latest from the soon-to-be greatest. Outside of that, I organize events. I'm actually in the process of organizing a festival for September. I have a series of ciphers that I'm going to be hosting at my studio from April through August. I sponsor, I'm one of the sponsors of the Afro-Caribbean Festival. Plus, I have a magazine that I'm developing along with the radio station. So we have a cycle of multimedia productions happening right now.
Cool. If you could choose one, well, which one do you pursue? You can't do any of the other ones, but the one you choose is 100% successful. Which one do you choose?
The magazine.
Magazine. Oh,
The
why?
magazine. Because I think it still has life to it in the sense of people want to know things about people. You just have to bring them the information in a way that they can palate. And I've been doing the magazine for 6 years, and I get a better response. I get a better, more genuine response when I approach someone to reserve a page in the magazine than I do when I approach someone to record in my studio.
What about, like, so why magazine and not a website? Or
Well,
is it?
it's a magazine website.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Yeah.
So it's an online magazine on my website.
Mm,
So yeah, it's offered on magazine.sharetheshock.ca /magazine. I call it the magazine sandwich because it delivers delicious food for thought. Um, but
nice.
yeah, it's the like the energy that I get from it, and the just it's just a different outlet
Right.
that I can create through. And I feel less arrogant when I'm talking about other people than I do when I'm talking about myself.
Sure. So
So
why not? So why not lock in? Why not go full on the magazine? You can probably tell I'm very pro one thing.
yeah, I noticed, and I appreciate that because I think because where I am, there's a market for all of the things that I'm doing, and there are so few people doing this the way I'm doing it.
Sure.
Like I have a contract to do talent scouting for Cash Money Records.
Mm,
So, like all of these other elements that I have involved are like, I don't want to call them snares, but they're avenues, we'll say, for people to approach me through, right? So I can
mm,
either help an artist develop their sound or promote a business with their content kind of thing. So it's it, it's a guilty pleasure. I'm not gonna lie, and I can make a magazine like a 40-page magazine within a week. So it's not like it's hard work. I don't have a good answer for you. As I'm filibustering right now, I do not have a good answer for you. I think I might have to go full on to that, but
just
still
saying.
have some of the like still have access to these other avenues. Maybe like find intern or something to do these other things for me, and then just focus forward on the magazine. Because, like I said, I mean, it's profitable. We'll
Yeah.
just say that.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, just interesting. Yeah, and like the magazine thing, like it's just like because it's one of those you hear the word mag, like I think of a paper magazine.
Yeah,
So I'm like, wait, is that a thing? Like, is that like like I don't know, but yeah, if it's you're talking about like more like a digital platform type thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, that's definitely an avenue to go through.
Cool.
All right, I appreciate the question.
For sure.
I'm very after that. Like, I think this is my first official filibuster for an answer. in like 241
Yeah,
episodes.
I don't mean to like put you on the spot like that. I'm just like it's just always curious to me because yeah, I always like I don't know. It was hard for me to lock in, you know what I mean, a long time ago.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like, man, like, and it's still like really like just the last few years, sorry, is really when I like was like, okay. But also, it's also not for everybody. Like, it's like some people do a lot of things and it totally works. But yeah, it's always curious to people's different decisions.
no, and you know what? I loaded the question. I loaded the segment and handed it to you. So
Yeah. Oh, and I was
I
gonna
gotta.
yeah, unrelated to that, I was also just gonna ask about like like movies and stuff. I'm always curious, like what are you watching recently? That
Right now, I think the last movie series that I watched through and through without falling asleep was The Hunger Games.
I've never seen any of the Hunger Games. Actually, I gotta watch that. I love Jennifer Lawrence, but yeah, I haven't seen any of those actually.
I didn't like it was my wife's idea to watch it. I was like, okay, pick a movie, let's sit down and you know what I mean, watch it. And she's like, okay, picked Hunger Games, and then I actually watched all of them all the way through. Where she's put on like Hot Fuzz and I've fallen asleep, or like, you
Oh,
know,
that's crazy. Okay.
yeah, I know, right? Because she bigged it up, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm watching it. I'm watching it. KO.
It's a pretty good movie. Like, okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's why I don't even. That's why I don't even go to the movie theater. It's like a $30 nap for me.
What's your type of movie? Like, what's your
I like the spy thrillers like you were mentioning, the Born Identity. I saw that whole series. Comedies, I'm big on like action comedies.
yeah, okay.
I'm not big into horror. My daughter loves horror movies. She'll watch like horror all day. She plays the horror games and everything. Me, nah, don't scare me. I'm too big. I'm gonna swing. But the messed up part about that is I work for Haunt Manor and I get to scare people.
Oh, Haunt. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's fire. That's fire.
Yeah, I get to scare people all day, like in all October, weekends and everything. So it's kind of hypocritical of me because I don't want to get scared, but I am fully down to scare somebody. But yeah, that's just where we're at.
Nice.
Oh man, we have another commercial break coming up. Be sure to tune into the Terrell Effect this Saturday because we have more content for you to enjoy. I have a guest, but if you want to figure out who it is, you're going to have to tune in because that's how it goes around here sometimes. Be sure to check out thevillageglobalnetwork.com and sharetheshock.ca. That's SHARETHESHOCK.ca for the latest from the soon to be greatest. We'll be right back. All right, last segment. I know you said you gotta cut time soon, so we will make this the easy out. Is there anyone you wanted to say or shout out or send any appreciation to?
I mean, I guess shout out everybody that I work with. Shout out to It Comes in Waves, feature film. If anybody has the opportunity to check that out, I would definitely recommend it. That's the first feature film that I shot for Fitch Jean. Fitch Jean is a great director in Ottawa, great filmmaker and producer in Ottawa, and it's his debut feature film. It's in consideration right now for the nomination for the Canadian Screen Awards. So shout out to Fitch and everybody that was part of that project, all the amazing actors, producer Amir Zargara. Shout out to Amir Zargara in general for producing tons of great films that I've had the privilege of working on over the years. Shout out my mom. Just shout out everybody that's been part of the journey so far, and lots to come.
All right. Just had to get that in there because I know.
Yeah, I do gotta. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We both got time. We both had to make time to do this. So, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to have a conversation with me about what you're doing and how you're doing it. I look forward to seeing some of your projects. What other projects do you have coming out just before you head out?
Yeah, I think It Comes in Waves will be somewhere later this year. I'm not sure though. And yeah, in terms of like public stuff, there's nothing like I shoot a lot of stuff for like that's on like Bell 5 TV1 and things like that. I think a documentary that I shot recently is going to be out later this year as well. But yeah, to be honest with you, like as a cinematographer, you just kind of like I shoot the projects and like whatever happens with them is sort of out of my control. So there's nothing that I have like that's I don't even know some of the dates, to be completely honest with you. But
okay,
It Comes in Waves is probably the first thing that people will see. But it's all over. It's been like all over the world at film festivals. And I think it has a release later this year, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm not the producer. Yeah.
No worries. All right, so man, it has been a great conversation. I think there's a lot more that I'm gonna have to look at introspectively, like especially with that last segment that we just did, the flip the script. I think I'm gonna have to look introspectively now because
Hey man, I didn't mean to. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
No. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly acceptable. Like I can't put people on the spot all like the way I do and not expect it to happen to me. I guess the law of averages just shifted a little bit.
Hey man, I'm still, what I mean, it's the rent is still expensive for me. So don't get me wrong, I'm not there yet. So who knows to say if this is the right path. But yeah.
I hear you. We gonna do what works until we can't work no more. That's how it is.
Exactly.
All right. So, man, I hope and wish for all the good that you do to find you. Oh man, and I hope that your career brings you many great opportunities for, productivity and prosperity and peace.
Appreciate it.
No problem, no
Same to you.
problem, no problem. Other than that, we are gonna call an end to the Candid Conversations, episode 241. Tune in this Saturday for the Terrell Effect. And next week to Zeno.fm/CULCHASHOCKRADIO at 8 a.m. for the replay of Candid Conversations. This is The Block. We've been here with Jelan Maxwell. Bless up. We out.